Welcome to the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement, where planning meets purpose. Chad Slagle isn't just a financial professional, he's a coach dedicated to helping you take control of your financial future. With years of experience guiding families towards secure and fulfilling retirements, Chad is here to empower you with the tools, strategies, and confidence to make smart decisions with your hard-earned dollars. Coaching you to and through retirement isn't just his promise, it's his passion. This is the Chad Slagle Show. Now, let's hear from the coach.
Welcome to the Chad Slagle Show. I'm Amy Sharp. Joining me is the coach, Chad Slagle. He is the president and founder of Slagle Financial. Today, we're talking about striking the right balance between safety and risk in retirement. Having the right mix is key to feeling secure and achieving the lifestyle that you want. Great to be back with you, Chad. Ready for another important show today?
Absolutely. Ready to go.
Let's get right to it. Let's start with the basics. What does it actually mean when we say something is safe in the financial world?
That's good. You know, we all want to be safe and secure in anything that we do, and the definition of safety that I like to use is safe money, where your principal is protected from loss as long as you follow the guidelines. And if you do decide to take your money and leave and go somewhere else, you know pretty much what leaving early will cost. So safe or safer investments, I would say, are not exposed to market losses. They protect against market crashes, so it keeps your money secure. So when the market drops 20 to 30%, you know that money will not lose a dime. So think of it, what we use it for, and a good way to think about it is, it's the foundation for your financial house. We all want to be secure and then kind of grow from there.
Can being too safe actually cause problems as well? And if so, take us through what that looks like.
Yeah, being too safe can create problems. That's why you want to make sure that you have that balance. Even though your money is protected from market risk, you may have what we call tax and inflationary risk. Also, if the market does go up 30 to 40% in a year, if all that money's sitting in safe, which is great, you're not going to lose it, but you may lose out on that 30 to 40% gain. Also, a lot of your safer investments, they're there for a purpose. So they lack a lot of growth potential compared to riskier investments like stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, or maybe even private equity. And when you're too focused on safety, you could miss out on long-term gains that are necessary to achieve your retirement goals. So you're constantly staying above that rate of inflation. So if the rate of inflation gets to 3, 4, 5%, you want to make sure you're making 7, 8, 10% or more on your money.
Okay, so yes, there's two sides to this. Let's dive into risk a little bit more. It sounds scary. It is scary for a lot of people. Some people just aren't willing to do that. How should we be thinking about that part of it?
Well, whether it be safety, whether it be risk, these are all tools that we use in our toolbox when it comes to planning and financial planning and retirement planning. So it's not a threat. Risk is not a threat if used properly. But again, you need to set your money up into 3 different buckets: the secure bucket, the growth bucket, and that extra or that legacy bucket. Again, the money that's sitting in that secure bucket is secure. It's safe. You cannot lose that money if the market goes down. It's there to give you an income stream that you can never, ever outlive. Then once you have that set up, so you know that that money is going to last 20, 30, 40 years, no matter how long you or your spouse live. In other words, you're developing your own private pension plan. Once you have that set up, then we can have bucket 2, which is what we call the growth bucket. That money there is to grow. It's there to take some risk because it's there to stay above the rate of inflation, cost of living. It's there to grow. But if the market drops 20 to 30%, not a big deal. We can wait for the market to come back before we dig into that bucket. And then the third bucket is what we call that legacy or that extra bucket. That money that you have set aside for extras. Again, could be a second home, maybe some big purchase. Maybe you want to buy a Corvette or other things in life, or maybe you have money set aside. I have a good friend, their family, they have 5 kids and like 15 grandkids. And one thing that the grandparents do every year, they don't buy anybody Christmas presents.
Okay.
But on Thanksgiving, every year when they get together, they name the destination that they're going to take the 20, 30 people in their family. So it could be the Grand Canyon, could be a Disney cruise.
You've talked about these buckets a lot. I want to just kind of take a moment here, because this bucket concept, has that been around for a long time? Is that something your team created? And how important can that be as we're planning for our retirements? Especially...
I would say the bucket concept has probably been around, but we've modified it a little bit to fit our clients and their concerns and their needs and what they want. You know, a lot of people today, they may have the assets or the piles of money that they need to retire and be successful. But the problem is, you may have a 401k or a retirement account over here. You may have some real estate over here. You may have some personal savings accounts over here. The problem is you have all of this money, this pile of money, But you have to make sure that these piles of money are sitting in vehicles that are working cohesively together to accomplish your goals. And the easiest way to explain that is through the bucket strategy and putting your money into those different buckets.
And because we're setting a foundation for this show, for this topic, I think it's also important to bring in the emotion piece of this too. This is also something that's very real for people. Some people just absolutely cannot take more risk. Others absolutely are adrenaline driven, let's go people, and they're ready to take all the risk, and that's not always good either.
It's not always good. You have to make sure that you set the plan up. First of all, of course, you have to define your goals, and then you set the plan up to meet those goals and what that looks like. You know, I have a lot of clients that are engineers, and when they retire, they love to manage their own money. I mean, they're sitting in their basement running spreadsheets, running their own money. The problem is when they pass away, their spouse is not going to be able to follow their plan and to be able to do that. So it's important not only to have that plan, but also make sure you have that plan so you're not reacting with emotion when the market has a downturn. You're reacting with logic.
Thank you so much, Chad. Great points. Finding this balance can be tricky, but it's so important. Stick around because in the next segment, we'll explore why that balance matters and share a real-life example of how to get it right. Stay with us.
In life, it's good to know what you have to work with. Knowing how many nails you have before building that birdhouse. Knowing how much sugar you have before starting to bake the cake. But do you know how much income you'll be able to count on in retirement? Retirement savings are one thing, but knowing how those savings can turn into income is another. Are you confident you know what your retirement income will look like? Call our team and get a free income analysis today. We can show you what you might expect for income in retirement. Find out now so you won't have to wonder later. Call for your free analysis today.
Hi, I'm Chad Slagle. At Slagle Financial, we know retirement isn't one size fits all, and it shouldn't feel like guesswork. That's why we created our Slagle Financial GPS, a step-by-step process that helps you build a custom blueprint for retirement. Whether you're focused on protecting your income, leaving a legacy, or simply gaining peace of mind, we'll walk with you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Schedule a visit with our team, and let's get you successfully to and through retirement.
They say knowledge is power. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goals are, you'll probably never say you know too much. The same is true with retirement. The more you know, the more prepared you'll be for everything in store. And we've made it easy to get started. This free offer is packed with knowledge to help answer some of retirement's biggest questions. It's our gift to you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Act now and claim your free offer today.
Welcome back to the Chad Slagle Show. I'm Amy Sharp, and Chad is with us once again, breaking down the importance of finding the right balance between safety and risk in retirement. This ratio that we talk about, this balance, we use that term as well. Why does it make such a big impact on someone's retirement?
Well, I think number one, because when we think about retirement, retirement is a very scary thing because it's the unknown. You know, you've worked for 30, 40 years building up this wealth, and all of a sudden you stop working and you're afraid. How can I not go to work? How can I not get a paycheck, but still have money coming in every single month to be able to support my lifestyle when I'm not working anymore? So if you don't have that balance, 100% of your money is in the market, and you think about, will that money last? Because there's a lot of unknowns. You know, if 100% of your money's sitting in the market and you don't have that balance, it might, but it might not last. Why? Because we have no idea if the market's going to go up or if the market's going to go down, and you have no idea how long you're going to live. And that's one of the biggest concern of retirees today. How long will my money last? Is it going to be 75? Is it going to be 85 or 105? So these are unknowns that you want to make sure that you plan for. So that's why it's important to have balance and a game plan, or what we call that blueprint for retirement.
It's not always easy to understand, to figure this all out. And Chad, you do such a great job coming from your coaching background of giving us these real life examples. And it really puts things into perspective because sometimes we can't really see when we're listening to you in terms of the X's and O's, if you will. So take us through this real life example.
So let's say we have two retirees. We have Joe and we have Mike. So Joe was the smart one. He put a balanced plan together. He sat down with an advisor at our firm, Slagle Financial, and we took him through our financial GPS process. And then what we did is we split his money up into 3 different buckets. Bucket 1 was that secure bucket. It's there to be safe and to give him an income. So we put $300,000 in annuities and cash for steady income. So that way, he knew that money was going to come in each and every month for the rest of his life and the rest of his spouse's life, no matter how long he lived. And then let's say bucket 2 of that $1 million, we took $400,000 and we put that money into the growth bucket, in diversified stocks and bonds for inflation, to keep up, and of course to grow, and also to make sure that if you need that money, if the market's down, it's not a big deal. You don't have to go in and draw from that bucket. Then of course, bucket 3, he set up for his family, his beneficiaries, but also just in case something would happen, for long-term care as well. So we put $300,000 positioned aggressively because it was long-term, growing untouched for a long period of time. The benefits of that is, number 1, income stability. In other words, if the market goes down again, as I mentioned, he knew that income was going to come in each and every month the rest of his life and the rest of his spouse's life. And it gave him flexibility for opportunities, as I mentioned before, like vacations, maybe giving to his church or different charities. Then we have Mike. We take that same $1 million with Mike. He throws all the money in the market, has no safety net, not balanced at all. So initial looked good. For the first couple of years, the market went up. So his $1 million that he has, he was drawing $50,000 a year out, and all of a sudden the market drops 20%. So what happens is his $1 million now becomes $800,000. He still needs to draw a certain amount out. In that situation was $50,000 a year. So instead of drawing 5% out, now he had to go out and draw 6.25% to 6.5% out. Goes along for a couple of years, does this, and all of a sudden the market drops again. So now as that market continues to fluctuate up and down, some good years, some bad years, what's happening is each and every year his principal is continuing to go down because he has no balance, has no foundation for his portfolio, and he did not follow a plan. So basically what happens is you have unknowns, but most important of all, you lose complete control over your retirement. And the problem is a lot of people, when you retire, it's too late to go back to work. So you have to make sure that you plan properly, like Joe did, not like Mike did.
Okay, and that example of Mike is a great, well, both of them are great, but this kind of leads into my question of what does happen if we don't pay attention to this balance, and you've kind of given us a little description of that already.
Well, number 1, unknown market performance. Is the market going to go up? Is the market going to go down? That's an unknown. The other unknown is how long you're going to live. Is it going to be 75 or 105? You have no idea. If you build a plan with the proper safe risk ratio, it doesn't matter what happens in the market, and it doesn't matter how long you live. You built a plan to know that, number 1, I'm going to have an income stream coming in to support my lifestyle and my spouse's lifestyle for the rest of our life, and it takes into consideration inflation and cost of living. Once we know that, the money will last the rest of your life and your spouse's life. To me, that's what's so important. I think about my family and my wife, what's most important, that we get to do the things that we want to do once we get to retirement, but also if something happens to me, make sure she's taken care of as well. So you have to take all that into consideration. Again, a big one, inflation and cost of living are 2 big ones that a lot of times people do not plan for.
Yeah, it would be so nice, and I know you've probably been working on this, that crystal ball to establish that. Wouldn't that be so nice if we had that? We wouldn't be sitting here, of course, having this conversation, but that is a big piece of this. None of us know what tomorrow will bring, and even, we can't base this off of what our family's lifespan has been either.
Absolutely not. You know, we tell our clients all the time, plan for the worst and hope for the best. And I think whether it be your health, whether it be your finances, we have to plan for the unknowns. You know, I think about me having 4 kids. You mentioned you have 3 kids. There's a lot of unknowns, a lot of life happens, things you didn't see around the corner that you have to plan for, and retirement is no different. You have to make sure that you're planning for those things. Okay,
this is a really important topic. I'm glad that we have gotten a good start on it. We will continue this conversation, so stick around. A big eye-opener for all of us. This conversation is crucial for anyone planning for retirement, so do not go away, because next, we're talking about your next steps and how an advisor can make a real difference for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
More is usually better, but not when it comes to taxes in retirement. Tax rates might seem high right now, but these could be the lowest rates you ever see again. Think how that could impact your retirement. The good news is there are strategies you can take advantage of now to help lower your tax bill later and help get the most out of what you've saved for retirement. But don't delay. Time is limited and rates could rise soon. So act now to get your free tax analysis. Help uncover hidden savings and optimize your income in retirement. Take action and claim your free tax analysis now.
Hi, I'm Chad Slagle. At Slagle Financial, we know retirement isn't one size fits all, and it shouldn't feel like guesswork. That's why we created our Slagle Financial GPS, a step-by-step process that helps you build a custom blueprint for retirement. Whether you're focused on protecting your income, leaving a legacy, or simply gaining peace of mind, we'll walk with you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Schedule a visit with our team and let's get you successfully to and through retirement.
Welcome back to the Chad Slagle Show. I'm Amy Sharp here with the coach, Chad Slagle, helping you figure out that ideal safe versus risk ratio in retirement. That's hard to say. Say that 2 or 3 times. Let's dive back into this. What steps people can take next to make sure they're on the right track? And I think this is a good thing. It's kind of almost like bullet points that we're going to kind of start to end the show here with is before we get to Coach's Corner. But first step, someone should really be thinking about as they're looking at this mix between a good balance between risk and safety.
Yeah, it's just like with anything else, you know, whether it's coaching, which I talk a lot about, it's about building that game plan or that practice plan. It's the same thing with retirement. We talk about blueprints and having that foundation. So first of all, you need to put together a blueprint. And the way you do that is by starting with what we call the 100 age rule. So you take 100 minus your age, because a lot of people ask, you know, well, at this stage of the game, Chad, how much should I have safe and how much should I have risk? With the 100 age rule, very simply, you take 100 minus your age. So if you're 60 years of age, you take 100 minus 60. What that tells us is 60% of your money should be safe, where if the market has a 20 or 30% correction, it does not matter. You cannot lose a dime. The other 40%, then that money should be at risk in the market. That money is there to grow. It's there to keep up with the rate of inflation and cost of living. If the market goes down, it's not as big a deal because we can wait for that money to come back. Now, but when we use the 100 age rule, again, understand it's not cookie cutter. I'm not saying because you're 60, you automatically have to have 60, 40, you're 75, 75, 25. It depends on a lot of different variables. Number one, it depends on your risk tolerance, your income needs, your lifestyle goals, your family dynamics, your liabilities, and your assets. And of course, part of your assets are your investments. But it's a very good place to kind of start that outline or that blueprint, if you will, for retirement.
And again, I think, we reference, you are our viewer. We understand this can be complicated. It's coming. We're trying to get a lot of information into this short amount of time that we share together. This is where I kind of like to bring in the conversation of having an advisor by your side, kind of taking the pressure off. In your case, serving as like a coach to these clients, because you're really getting in there when the game is on the line and you're making sure that, okay, just relax, everybody take a deep breath, we can do this.
It's just like with anything else. I think about what things could I do that I don't do that make my life a lot simpler. Something simple like getting the oil changed. Now, I could go to AutoZone and I could get all the stuff to change my oil, and I could spend 5 hours trying to do it, be covered in oil and grease and everything else and try to figure out and probably screw it up. Or I can pull into the Valvoline station for 20 minutes, oil's changed and done. If there's something that goes wrong, guess what? I go back and they'll fix it. It's the same thing when it comes to retirement planning, anything that we do. Somebody can do it better, but also somebody to guide you, because when you get to retirement, the last thing you want to do is sit behind your computer 3 to 4 hours every day. Now, if somebody wanted to do that, which again, I mentioned, I have some friends that are engineers, they do it. Yep. You could probably do a pretty good job, but most people want to do that. When you get to retirement, you want to enjoy retirement. You have 30 to 40 years. These should be the best years of your life. You don't have to get up every day and go to work. You don't have to answer to other people. So the way we put it together is what we call the blueprint. So I think a good way to explain this, Amy, is think about, let me ask you a question. What is the favorite room in your house or the favorite part of your house?
I have kind of a sunroom that I like to go to. So it's kind of my solace, read a book. Right.
And so your sunroom, a lot of people would say their kitchen. Some people may say their bedroom, right? So think about this. If 70 to 80% of your home is in your sunroom and a big storm comes along, what's going to happen to the majority of your house? It's probably going to blow over, right? It's the same thing if a big financial storm comes along and 70 to 80% of your money is sitting in mutual funds and sitting in stocks, and a big financial storm comes along, it's probably going to blow your financial house over. So it's important to have that solid foundation. The way you do that is by having that money in secure places. So when that market does drop 20, 30, 40%, you know that money will not lose a dime. Then once you have that set up, then we can have the sunroom, then we can have the kitchen, the bedroom, then we can build the walls and the roof. So if a big storm comes along, it may affect us a little bit, but it's not going to completely wipe us out. So when it comes to balance, I think that's a really good way to look at it. Number one, Make sure you have somebody guiding you so you don't have to go it alone. And number two, make sure you have that financial house set up properly.
Chad, I was thinking earlier about what you said about the person who does like to sit in front of their computer and do this for hours and hours. I'm also thinking about there's usually a spouse standing over them saying, let's go on that vacation. Let's go to the golf course. You know, it's not always everybody on the same team is thinking the same thing.
You may want to take the time to do it, but are you taking time away from your family? One thing that drives my wife completely nuts, I got 3 acres that I have to mow. And I'll come home at 5 o'clock and I'll start mowing until 7 or 8. I'm like, no big deal, gives me a little therapy. I put a book on, I'm good. The thing is, what you have to realize is I just took 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours away from my family and time with them. And I think that's the biggest thing you have to think about. And I have a friend, you know, when he needs something fixed the house, he goes, you know, the best tool that I have in my toolbox is my phone, because I can call somebody and they can fix this or fix that, or I can try to do it, go buy all the tools and probably spend hours and hours of my time and probably not do it right. It makes a lot more sense. Do what you do really well, but there's other things you need help with. Have somebody there to help you or to guide you so you don't have to go it alone.
It's the value of your time. And when we get to retirement, time starts to be a little, the premium, I guess, if you will.
Time is precious, right?
Yes.
And you don't want to waste time doing things that you really don't want to do anyway. So take a little extra money, put it in your plan, and spend money on those things.
Coming up next, it is time for the Coach's Corner, where Chad will help you understand the mental side of risk and safety and how to take those big steps towards your goals. Don't miss it. We're back right after this.
In life, it's good to know what you have to work with. Knowing how many nails you have before building that birdhouse, knowing how much sugar you have before starting to bake the cake. But do you know how much income you'll be able to count on in retirement? Retirement savings are one thing, but knowing how those savings can turn into income is another. Are you confident you know what your retirement income will look like? Call our team and get a free income analysis today. We can show you what you might expect for income in retirement. Find out now so you won't have to wonder later. Call for your free analysis today.
Retirement planning shouldn't feel like guesswork. I'm Chad Slagle, and that's why we created the Slagle Financial GPS, our step-by-step guided planning system. It's not a cookie-cutter approach, it's a customized roadmap built around your goals, designed to bring clarity to your investments, protect what matters most, and help you navigate tax and income with confidence. Take the first step, come meet our team and discover how the Slagle Financial GPS can guide you to and through retirement. Call today, your future starts now.
Your dream car, the open road, and freedom. It's just one turn away. So you thought. Even when things look good, hidden problems can ruin your plans. Think of your retirement. At first glance, your investments might seem solid, but under the hood, what kind of risk are you exposed to? And what about taxes, income, healthcare costs? Don't let your retirement dreams stall out. Act now and get your free risk analysis to help keep you in the retirement fast lane.
Welcome back to the Chad Slagle Show. This is the part of our show where we turn it over to the coach. Chad, let's talk about how we can conquer the mental barriers that stop people from finding that right safe versus risk ratio. Take it away.
Thanks, Amy. You know, retirement is a time of great change, and for many people, one of the biggest challenges is overcoming the mental barriers that can hold them back from fully enjoying this next chapter of life. Today, I want to share some strategies to help you feel confident, organized, and ready to tackle retirement head on. To start, I want to introduce you to the concept of the 3 buckets. This is one of the simplest ways to think about organizing your money for retirement. Each bucket serves a specific purpose, and together they create balance and security for your financial plan. The first bucket is what we call your safety bucket. This is where you keep money set aside for emergencies and guaranteed income. It's the foundation of your plan, ensuring you always have what you need for unexpected expenses or daily living, no matter what happens in the market. The second bucket is your growth bucket. This is where you focus on the future to maintain and grow your purchasing power over time. This bucket helps you protect against inflation by keeping some of your money working in investments with long-term growth potential. Finally, there's the legacy bucket. This is for what you plan to leave behind for your loved ones, whether it's for family, charities, or other meaningful causes. This bucket reflects your long-term values and goals, allowing you to pass on a part of your success in life and creating a lasting impact for your family. Thinking in terms of these three buckets helps simplify what can sometimes be an overwhelming process. By organizing your assets this way, you can see how everything fits together and ensure your money is working for you in the areas that matter most. Now, another common mental barrier is worrying about whether you have the right balance between safe and risk. That's where the 100 age rule comes in. You've probably heard of it before. Here's how it works. You take 100, subtract your age, and whatever number you get is the percentage of your assets that should be ideally in growth-oriented investments. For example, if you're 60 years of age, you might have 40% of your portfolio in the growth, and the remaining 60% is in safe investments, more stable accounts where you cannot lose that principal. But here's the thing. The 100 age rule is just a guideline. Your actual balance between safety and risk should depend on your own goals, your comfort level, and financial needs. Maybe you're more conservative and prefer to just adjust that ratio in favor of safety, or perhaps you're looking for more growth opportunities. Either way, it's important to ensure that your investment strategy reflects the proper mix for where you are in life. Finally, I want to talk about the concept of the blueprint and that financial house. If you think of your finances as a house, you wouldn't build that house without a strong foundation, would you? Your financial blueprint is just like that foundation. Building a financial house starts with safety and protection at the bottom level. That's your foundation. That's where your guaranteed income and essential coverage like insurance live. These layers keeps your financial house standing strong no matter what storms might come along. In the second level is your growth level, where you invest to keep your money working and growing as the years go by. As we move to the top, that's where we find your legacy and long-term goals. Just like adding a roof to a house, that's where your plan comes together to protect not only you, but also your family and the future you're building for them. The key to conquering mental barriers in retirement is having a clear, actionable blueprint for what you want to achieve and how you're going to get there. When you organize your money into three buckets and find the right balance for safety and risk and build your financial house with a strong foundation, you take the guesswork out of retirement. If you're ready to take control of your plan and create a retirement you feel confident about, my team and I are here to help you. That's where our financial GPS comes in. Imagine you're getting in your car to take a long trip. You wouldn't set off without a GPS, right? It tells you where you are starting from, where you're headed, and how to get there as efficiently as possible. Well, retirement works the same way. That's exactly why we developed the financial GPS. Our financial GPS does for your retirement what a GPS does for your drive. It helps you figure out where you are financially, what your retirement goals look like, and the best strategies to get there. It takes the guesswork out of planning and gives you a clear, step-by-step roadmap to follow. Here's the best part. My team and I are ready to put the financial GPS to work for you. We'll sit down with you, understand your unique goals, and guide you every step of the way. Do not leave your retirement to chance. Reach out today to get started with your very own financial GPS. And remember, folks, retirement is not the beginning of the end. It is a new beginning. That's all for this week. Back to you, Amy.
Thanks so much, Chad. And thank you to you, our viewers, for joining us today. Remember, your plan should match who you are and what you want out of life. You don't have to figure it out all alone. We'll see you next time right here on The Chad Slagle Show.